Hi, I'm Froggy Lumpy.
And I'm Phenix Animator. And welcome to Learning Botania Episode 2. We've got some good stuff in store. We are going to get involved in making some mana, so that way we can go further along with our Botania.
Yes, in order to, the big point of Botania is flowers, what you can do with them and how they can help you, assist you in creating, crafting, and producing mana, as well as
Automation.
the power source being mana. So how do you get this mana? How do you collect it? How do you store it? And how do you use it? Well, let's go.
All right.
Now, first thing I want to mention before I start making any flowers, though, is because, as I mentioned in last episode, I am in the 110 version.
Yes.
You might be playing in the 164 or 172 version. You are going to have Dayblooms and Nightshades. I cannot make those in this pack because this pack, they have now been eliminated. So, I can give you the recipe, which I have in my hotbar here, okay? To make a Daybloom, you need 2 yellow petals, 1 light blue petal, 1 orange petal, and then of course you need 1 seed. I have 50 in my thing, but you only need 1. So you would throw them in here just like normal. I'll throw them in here, but it's not going to work. You throw your 2 yellow, your 1 light blue, and I am just hitting Q to throw these in. And there you go. That's all of them. Then if you threw a seed in, it would actually go into the pool and you would get your Daybloom. But I won't because it's not in a recipe anymore. It doesn't exist. To get these things back out, you have to have a freehand shift, right click, and you can take something out if you accidentally put it in. That's going to get your Dayblooms.
Yep.
To represent the Dayblooms, since I can't make them, I'm using the yellow flower. So please forgive me because it's not in this pack now. So these are acting as Dayblooms in this representation. The reason I'm wanting to represent them is to show that Dayblooms, they are put down side by side. They will not be efficient, and they actually really won't even work if they're put down side by side like this. They need 1 space in between them. So that way, in my opinion, it was like, okay, you want the air to flow through, so this way it has the ability for the air to flow through. Dayblooms are called Dayblooms because they only operate during the day. Nightshades only operate at night. The Nightshade recipe is mystical black petals times 2, gray petal, and purple petal. That will get you and of course you need to pop in a seed. And again, it's in the apothecary. And then your Nightshades, same thing, they need that space, but you can place them in these spaces in between your Dayblooms. That's okay to do. Dayblooms and Nightshades can be together because they're 2 different flowers, so it's okay. Your flowers are creating mana now. And where do you put that mana? Well, you need mana pools, you need a mana spreader.
Yeah.
So the only way to get a mana pool or a mana spreader is to have living rock and living wood. That's the 2 main blocks in Botania.
How do you get those?
So let's get those. It's just 4 white petals and then a seed. And there you go, you got your pure daisy. And then of course you need to fill up your apothecary again. And just repeat. Now I just put the seed in, throw it in with the cube, and there we go. I have the 2.
Cool.
So I have my pure daisies. So now I can put my pure daisies down. I'm going to put them down over here.
Okay.
I'll put 1 here, and then I'll put 1 here. And you have to use stone. The wood is... Most woods will work if you're doing a certain pack, though. But it takes about a minute for your stone and your wood to turn into living rock and into living wood. There we go. It doesn't see, you can see that it doesn't take long. It's got this nice little sparkly effect too. Now that we have the wood and the rock,
Yep.
now what do we do with them? We need to make mana spreaders and mana pools.
Mana spreaders and mana pools.
Yes.
Mana spreaders to put mana into mana pools.
Exactly.
So to make your mana spreader, you're going to need your 6 living wood, a piece of gold, and a mystical petal. It does not have to be brown. It can be of any of the mystical petal colors. So after you have all of that stuff, then you just go ahead and take out your spreader, and you're good to go. The mana pool is 5 living rock in a bowl shape here, and that is your mana pool. There we go.
Fabulous. So now you're all ready to accept the mana, but we don't have anything producing mana. Well, you would if you had the actual Dayblooms and Nightshades.
Yes, if these guys were working, we could make mana.
In this pack, what you're going to need to start with is either Hydrangeas or Endoflame. So let's make a Hydrangea.
Okay.
That will be in all of the packs. Hydrangeas and Endoflames are in all of the versions. So, Hydrangeas are cyan petals times 2 and light blue petal times 2, and then of course a seed. And there we go. We've got the Hydrangea.
Cool.
So let's put some water back in here again. If you just right click within a few seconds after you've done the recipe, the apothecary will automatically pull from your inventory, and so then all you have to do is throw in a seed. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So now all I have to do is right click, throw in a seed, right click, throw in a seed, right click, throw in a seed, and we're all set. We have Hydrangeas. So let's go ahead and set up our Hydrangeas. Hydrangeas need lots of water. They really like to suck up the water. Well, not literally, but it seems that way. They need a 3x3 space for water. Hydrangeas must be on level with the water, and that means by level, ground level. So these would have to be down inside because the water is at walking level here. And so they would need to go down inside these little holes for the Hydrangeas to work. Now this one I set up, I brought the water table up to above walking level, and so these 4 Hydrangeas can just sit right here so that they are even with the water. That's how it has to work.
How do I know they're working?
Now we need to put the mana spreaders down, and in order to be able to tell they're working, you need to make a wand of the forest. So if you will make the wand of the forest.
So to make the wand of the forest, I'm going to need some living wood twigs, which is simply just 2 pieces of living wood. And you're going to need 3 of these guys, so that you can then place them in a diagonal with 2 petals. And that would make a wand of the forest. And we're going to go ahead and make 2 of these because there's 2 of us. You don't have to. Now, if I take the wand of the forest, I'm able to look at the hydrangea and it says unknown status. And now if I right click on it, it shows it is a full blue bar here. That means that it is completely full, and it says that it is not connected to a mana spreader. That's not good. We need to connect one. So let's check all these guys. Yep, they're all not connected to a mana spreader. So, if we place the mana spreader down right here, the next thing we'll want to do is we'll want to right-click, shift right-click on the hydrangea, and then, while still holding shift, right-click on the mana spreader. And that will link this hydrangea to that mana spreader. So now it's gaining the mana from that hydrangea. And I'll do that for over here.
Is your wand of the forest in which mode is it in?
It starts in bind mode when you make it. So it is in bind mode.
And,
There we go.
And to change modes?
To change modes, you would just shift right-click into the air. This is function mode, and then there's bind mode. I tend to just leave it in bind mode because it's able to do most things. I haven't really had any issues with it in bind mode. But if it is giving you a problem, you can always switch it to function mode, and then it won't bind.
Now we're starting to get some mana because it's in the mana pool.
The mana spreader is full.
The mana spreader is already full. And you can see it shooting out this invisible green beam. And it's funny because it's shooting out this green beam, but that's not mana, but yet in a moment it will be mana because the mana pool, where did you put your mana pool?
I haven't placed one yet.
Okay.
I'm going to put it right
If
here.
you place your mana pool down, now you have these more powerful jets coming out. However, the farther away you are, the weaker that jet becomes. So you do want to place your mana pool close to your mana spreader, because the farther away, the weaker the stream, which means the mana dissipates. And this spreader, he's got a long distance away here, and you can see it does work. There is quite a few steps you can go away from it, but this one is traveling at a farther rate, so it will not be as powerful in the long run. Okay,
Right.
This one will be more powerful because the beam doesn't take as far to go. So the shorter the distance, the better, but sometimes you have to have a longer distance because of your setup. Now the drawback about mana is, and here's the mana in the mana pool. Drawback is mana evaporates. Okay, so you'll see these little tiny blue bubbles coming out of your mana pool, and that's showing. And I just seen one just right there. It's not a fast rate, but it does happen. So in order to have your mana not be evaporating, because it can be time consuming to make mana, lots of mana that is. But there is a solution, and that is called a mana tablet. Mana tablet is either using a mana pearl or a mana diamond. Then you would take your mana diamond that you just made and surround that with living rock. And now you have a mana tablet, and your mana tablet is empty, so it's white. So now you know the difference between a full mana tablet and an empty mana tablet, because the empty one is white and the full one is blue, and there's actually an in-between color if it just has a little bit in it, and that would be, there you go, that's enough. And
There you
now
go.
it shows just a little bit of difference. So the other flower, so let's make an Endoflame. How do you make an Endoflame? That is a gray petal, red petal, and 2 brown petals and a seed. So gray, red, and 2 brown, and a seed. So now I have 4 Endoflames. Okay, so what am I going to do with these 4 Endoflames? I am going to go, let's put one here and here. And I want to put a space between them, and I want to put one right. You know what? I'm going to bring that up. Endoflames like to eat coal, just a chunk of coal. Throw. Block the coal. It ends up eating them up, and now you can see the little burning flame on them. So you can use either or. You don't have to use the blocks, especially if you don't have a lot of coal at first. But making a tree farm and then using a furnace to create coal is a really excellent way to automate this. So here's your first setup of creating your mana. You're starting to create little bits and bobs here by having your mana pool and your mana spreader. Your Endoflames come into the mana spreader, and then the mana spreader goes into the mana pool. And this one he put right up against it.
I did.
I wanted to mention too before we go, the hydrangeas, they will die. They are not a long living flower. They will die. They are set up for just a let's get started because it's an easy flower to make, and you might not have a lot of coal, so this would be the best flower to start with if you don't have coal. So there is an 1 hour real-time life cycle for the hydrangeas. Depending upon, again, which pack you're playing, they will either just die and disappear, or they will turn into a dead bush.
No, that's sad.
Poor things, yes. So, now that we have a little mana going, and we have the ability to have our living wood and our living rock, which obviously you would just use a pickaxe or an axe, take that up and then put new down. I place this here, and these end up touching each other. They don't have to. You can place them however or wherever you want them. You can mix and mingle, putting 4 pieces of wood and 4 pieces of stone around. It doesn't matter, just so long as it is surrounding the pure daisy. That's all that really matters. So that will do it for this episode. This gets you started on creating your mana and creating your two basic building blocks of Botania, living rock and living wood. So I'm Froggy Lumpy.
And I'm Phenix Animator.
Thanks ever so much for watching. Everybody have a great day. We are going to be doing the automation for the Endoflame next episode. We're going to make the runic altar next episode so that we can start to begin to create some runes. And we're going to get into little bits and baubles. There's some really cool bauble things that's in Minecraft, so we're going to start down that road also.
Sounds good.
So, see you next time.
Hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you have any suggestions, leave in the comments below. Thanks. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye.